The night hung heavy with the scent of impending rain, as I found myself alone in an isolated cabin in the heart of the woods. The distant rumble of thunder echoed through the towering trees, and the air crackled with a tangible sense of unease. Little did I know that this storm would become the backdrop for a nightmarish encounter with forces beyond my comprehension. I sought refuge in the cabin, hoping to escape the relentless downpour that had transformed the forest into an eerie, mist-shrouded realm. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows on the wooden walls, creating an illusion of movement that played tricks on my anxious mind. As I settled in, the storm intensified, and the thunder roared like an enraged beast. The cabin creaked under the pressure of the wind, its time-worn structure adding to the unsettling symphony of nature's fury. Rain battered the windows in a relentless assault, each drop a reminder of the tempest that raged outside. I tried to convince myself that it was just a storm, nothing more. Yet, a nagging feeling lingered, a primal instinct that whispered of something more ominous lurking in the darkness. The atmosphere in the cabin grew thick with tension, and every flicker of the candle seemed to cast fleeting glimpses of phantasmal shapes. The electricity flickered and died, plunging the cabin into total darkness. I fumbled for a flashlight, the beam cutting through the inky blackness like a feeble lifeline. The storm outside mirrored the tempest within my mind, as I grappled with an inexplicable fear that seemed to seep through the very walls of the cabin. The thunderstorm intensified, and the cabin trembled as if in response to the wrath of an unseen force. Shadows danced on the walls, distorting into grotesque forms that seemed to rive with a life of their own. My heartbeat quickened, each pulse echoing the thunderous rhythm of the storm. Suddenly, a chilling howl echoed through the woods, a sound so unnatural that it sent shivers down my spine. It wasn't the wind or the creatures of the forest. It was something otherworldly, a lament that spoke of ancient sorrows. Panic set in as I realized that I was not alone in that cabin. A presence lurked in the darkness, unseen, yet undeniably palpable. The floor beneath me vibrated with a strange energy, and I stumbled backward, my eyes straining to pierce the impenetrable darkness. That's when I saw them shadowy figures with eyes that glowed like malevolent embers. They moved in a sinister dance, their forms shifting and contorting with an unnatural fluidity. As the figures closed in, the air grew colder, and I could see my breath in rapid, terrified exhales. A voice echoed in the depths of my mind, a haunting whisper that spoke of forgotten sins and the wrath of restless spirits. I felt a paralyzing dread as the spectral figures surrounded me, their cold, insidious gaze penetrating to the core of my being. With a surge of adrenaline, I bolted towards the door, desperate to escape the suffocating grasp of the unseen entities. The wind outside howled in symphony with the haunting chorus within the cabin. I fumbled with the doorknob, my trembling hands struggling to find purchase. The shadows closed in, their ethereal forms brushing against me like an icy caress. Finally, the door swung open, and I stumbled into the stormy night. Rain lashed against my face, and the wind howled with a newfound ferocity. Yet, the tempest outside offered a strange sanctuary. Compared to the malevolence that lurked within the cabin, I ran through the woods, each step a desperate plea for salvation. The thunderstorm raged on, nature itself conspiring with the unseen forces that pursued me. My breath hitched, and my legs threatened to give way beneath me. The spectral figures pursued relentlessly, their ghostly forms a constant reminder of the darkness that clung to my every step. Just when I thought I couldn't endure another moment, I stumbled upon an ancient, dilapidated church, hidden in the heart of the woods. With the last reserves of strength, I flung the creaking door open and collapsed onto the cold, hard floor. The stormy symphony outside seemed to muffle as the heavy wooden door closed behind me. Inside the church, an otherworldly calm enveloped me. The air was heavy with the scent of aged, wooden dampness, but it offered a respite from the malevolent forces that had pursued me. As my breath steadied, I glanced around, taking in the faded paintings and the warm pews that bore witness to years of solitude. It was then that I noticed an inscription on the wall, words etched into the ancient wood with a precision that defied the passage of time. In the face of darkness, seek the light within, it read. The lesson was clear, a profound truth that resonated with the depths of my soul. As the storm continued to rage outside, I found solace within the walls of the church. The haunting figures that had pursued me were held at bay, unable to breach the sanctuary of the sacred space. In that moment of refuge, I understood the lesson the thunderstorm had imparted, that even in the darkest of times, there is a flicker of light within, a resilience that can withstand the malevolence that seeks to consume us. With the first light of dawn, the storm began to subside, and the ghostly figures vanished into the shadows. I emerged from the church, the weight of the night still lingering in the air. The woods, once filled with ominous whispers, now seemed to sigh with relief, as if nature itself had weathered a storm of its own. As I walked away from the isolated cabin and the haunted woods, the lesson etched in the church walls stayed with me, a reminder that within the depths of our own fears, there is a strength that can withstand even the most malevolent of storms. The haunted thunderstorm had taught me that, in the face of darkness, the light within is our greatest sanctuary.